gonna show you how to edit a surface and make it as, you know, a structure. Okay, so click that and hide it. To create a surface, as I told you, there are many different ways. Now I'm gonna show you a new way. I'm creating a tunnel basically. So I'm creating the base of my tunnel, and then I will define different curves that will allow me to create a sort of tunnel, and I just want the end point and not. So I create a set of different curves that will define. Okay, they are all there in the same place. Yeah, but I will move them in a minute. Okay, those are enough. Now, if I select one of them and I move it orthogonally of, I don't know, 500. Oh, that was the other way around. Okay. There, it's clear. Then I select another one and I move it of 1000. Just pressing the number, it will do it. Then I take this one, 1500. And then I probably take the small one and do another 1000, no, 2000. Right? Those are my curves. If I want, I could, for example, mirror it and create. What was the mirror? Well, I don't remember. Mirror. Press enter. Start mirror plane. I'm using this as my plane. Mirror. There you go. I've got the other three on the other side, but I'm moving them a little bit closer. Okay, now I have this. Select all of those, and I have a fantastic command. I love it. It's called Loft. Loft. Enter. Now you have many different options here. If you want it closed and if it's normal, if it's loose. Wait, I show you the difference between them. If I zoom in and make it bigger. Okay, Loft. Now, as you can see, it creates a surface going through all those lines. And I can have a loose version of it, which is less tight. Instead, I have a tight version, which is more closer to those lines that I create. I have straight section, which creates basically a straight line in between those two elements, and developable, but that's crap. So let's keep it normal. Preview, you can rebuild it with a number of points, you know, all geometrical operation. Now I have this surface. Apart that, I can edit as much as I want, so I could potentially select that number of points and take them up, and modifying that surface. But let's assume we are happy with the overall shape and make this in a structure. I will need to create a new layer, say, putting my curves, and I will select all the curves and moving them to that layer which I'm turning off. So now I don't have any curve on my surface. Now it's a bit complicated. I hope it's gonna work, but I could have made it a little bit simpler, but it's gonna work. Well, I need a grid for my grid shell, for example. So I would create a line from here to there, from here to there, enter, and array it a number of times. Now what I want to do, sorry, before then, is making sure my overall length, which is at the moment 3400, is, let's say, 3000. I'm seeing the measure down there. Okay, so, and I scale it down to 3000, and I type it up. I already typed it in. Did you scale it? No. From here to there is 3468, and I want it to be 3000. What's going on? Scale 1D. Oh, there you go. 3000. Okay, and same on the other direction. Now it's 1000. I do it 1064, and I do it 1000. Okay, and now 3000. I can array. If I array, this is another tool I love. Array along curve. So I click on that. Select object to array. This one. Enter. Select path curve along that one, and how many items do I want, and it will tell me as well the distance. So let's say 50 is going to be 61 distance. Okay, I like it. There you go. Same thing we do the other way around, but we need this line here. Create that and array along curve. Path curve is this one. How many items? 20? Maybe, yes, that's fine. Okay. Alright, so I've got my grid. Now, I told you earlier that I have a set of tools that will put in relationship my surfaces and volumes with my curves. And there it is, the most used one, project curves. Okay, so I select curves and points to project. Those ones, yes, press enter. Select surfaces, polysurfaces and meshing to project onto, and I click that, and press enter. Voila, I've got all of my curves projected onto the surface, and I put them in another layer because. And I make them maybe dark green. Okay. So I can turn them on and off as I wish. Now, I didn't do for the other curves, so what I can do is take that. If you select all and then press Control and click, you deselect, as normal with most software. Right? So now I've got all of them, and I want to hide them. But hiding, as I've been hiding a lot of things, I just create another layer, curve 1. Now I'm naming them randomly, but you need to be more ordered and tight than I am. So I've got my surface and my set of curves. And I'm going to put my surface onto that layer. So I select it and go to my surface, which, let's see, turn it off. So I created this structure out of my, this is an error, out of my surface. Okay, this is a little problem that I don't want. Now, how can I transform this net into volumes? Well, it's actually very easy as well. So I select all those lines, well, those one in one direction. Okay, so I selected all those one in that direction, and I can extrude that line with extrude closed planar curve, extrude surface, wait, it's probably here, extrude straight. Okay, so what I'm doing here is extruding those, and I'm extruding them of 10 maybe. Okay, so I got them there. Now, as it was a little bit complicated, the surface, some of them it hasn't done them, but it's my fault actually, because I did it too complicated. Okay, I hide those, I select this, and I make this being a volume. So I extrude a surface, yes, and I want to be solid, I want to be both side, and now you see nothing but because it's basically doing that, and I say 10, and what it did is transform my surfaces into ribbons. Now if I select all of this and I create a new layer, I already have, no, I go very, and I move it to that layer and I hide it and I select this. And now what I can do, select all of those lines, hide them. I've got these ones, select all of them and do the same. So 10, okay, and then I hide the lines, select this thing and extrude the surface. And then I already have saved both sides and solid, so enter. It reminds select my surface inside is selected. I can delete it, so delete it, select all of that, put in my layer structure, and then I can turn on my structure, which is going to be very too solid. Probably I should have offset of 5 rather than 10, but you know, you get an idea of how transform a surface in a potential structure. I have my surface as well underneath. I can change it in color or layer, and it's going to be my glazed structure, and sort of kind of voila. Yes, if you want to make it shorter or get rid of all of that, well, it would be actually pretty easy. So I create a line there. Okay, select all of these things and split them with my line, press enter. Now it's cutting all of them. Fantastic. Select all of that, delete, and I basically cropped this side. Actually I cropped this side of my structure, and I do the same because I like to finish things. And it's quite easy, so you understand how you work with the software. Select all, crop, well, split, enter, splitting everything. You see the split line there. Select, delete, delete, uh, delete, and delete as well my line. Okay, and let's hold to this.